So there's a guy who walks into a room and something just shifts. People listen when he talks. They remember him after he leaves. They want his opinion on things. They introduce him to other people. And he's not the loudest person there. He's not the best looking. He's not cracking jokes every 5 minutes. There's just something about him. You've met someone like this before, maybe once or twice in your life, and you probably couldn't explain exactly what it was. You just knew. This person has something. Here's the thing nobody tells you about respect. You can't demand it, you can't buy it, and you definitely can't fake it. Long term. But you can understand the psychology behind it. And once you do, you can build it. Deliberately, systematically, in a way that feels completely natural. There are 7 specific behaviors that trigger respect in other people's brains almost automatically. Not manipulation. Not tricks in some sleazy sense. Just a deep understanding of how humans actually work. Let's go through all 7. Number 1. Strategic silence. Most people are terrified of silence. Someone asks them a question, and they immediately start talking. Even if they haven't figured out what they want to say yet, they fill the space. They ramble. They over-explain. The guy who commands respect does the opposite. Someone asks him something. He pauses. Maybe 2, 3 seconds. He thinks. Then he speaks. That pause does something powerful to the other person's brain. It signals that what's about to come out of his mouth was actually considered. It signals he's not anxious. It signals he's not performing. And here's the wild part. People remember what you say more when you pause before saying it. The pause creates anticipation. Anticipation creates attention. Next time someone asks your opinion on something important, don't answer immediately. Take a breath. Think for real. Then talk. 2 seconds of silence feels like forever to you. To everyone else, it looks like confidence. Number 2. The name repetition effect. There's a study out of Harvard that found the sound of your own name activates the same part of your brain as food, money, and sex. Your own name is literally neurologically pleasurable to hear. Most people use someone's name once when they meet them, if at all, and then never again. The guy that people respect uses it naturally throughout a conversation, not in a weird salesman-y way, just genuinely. That's a good point, Marcus. What do you think, Sarah? Honestly, James, I hadn't thought about it that way. It makes people feel seen, and people are loyal to people who make them feel seen. Start doing this and watch how people's energy shifts towards you within minutes. It sounds almost too simple. It works anyway. Number 3. Controlled vulnerability. Here's where most guys get this wrong. They think respect means never showing weakness. So they perform. They act like everything's fine. They pretend they have it all figured out. And people can feel that performance. And it creates distance. The counterintuitive truth is that selective vulnerability, sharing something real at the right moment, makes people respect you more, not less. The key word is selective. You're not venting to strangers. You're not oversharing on a first meeting. You're choosing one real, honest moment to drop the mask slightly. Honestly, I struggled with that too for a long time. I got that completely wrong the first time I tried it. That used to terrify me. That kind of honesty from someone who otherwise seems composed? It's magnetic. It makes you human. And humans trust humans. Number 4. The Benjamin Franklin effect. This one sounds backwards. Benjamin Franklin had a political rival who genuinely disliked him. Instead of trying to impress this guy or do him favors, Franklin did something strange. He asked the rival for a favor. A small one? He asked to borrow a rare book from his personal library. The rival lent it, and after that, he warmed up to Franklin completely. They eventually became friends. The psychology behind this is fascinating. When someone does you a favor, their brain has to justify the action, and the way it justifies it is by deciding, I must like this person. Otherwise, why would I help them? So asking someone for a small, reasonable favor doesn't make you look weak. It makes them like you more. Ask a coworker for their opinion on something you're working on. Ask someone to recommend a book or a restaurant. Ask for a small piece of advice in their area of expertise. You're not being needy. You're giving their brain a reason to invest in you. Number 5. Opinion anchoring. Most people share their opinions apologetically. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I kind of think they hedge, they soften, they pre-apologize for having a perspective. The person who commands respect states their opinion clearly, then holds it calmly under pressure. Not aggressively, not arrogantly, just firmly. I think X, here's why. And if someone pushes back, they listen, they consider it genuinely, and if they're not convinced, they say so. I hear you, I just don't see it that way. That's it. No argument, no ego, just a person who knows what they think and isn't rattled by disagreement. People don't respect the person who agrees with everything. They respect the person who has a position and can hold it without getting defensive. Your opinion, stated clearly and calmly, is one of the most underrated tools you have. Number 6, disappearing strategically. This one gets slept on. The person who is always available, always responsive, always there, is taken for granted. It's just human psychology. We don't value what's constantly accessible. The person who commands respect has a life that pulls them away sometimes. They don't respond to every message within 30 seconds. They're not always free. They occasionally say, I can't, I've got something on, without over-explaining. This isn't about playing games. It's about actually having a full life and letting that be visible. When you do show up, people are genuinely glad you're there. When you do respond, it means something. When you give someone your time, they feel like they got something real. You can't manufacture this with fake busyness. It only works if you actually build a life worth disappearing into, which is a good reason to do that anyway. Number 7, being the person who remembers. This last one is quiet, but it might be the most powerful of all. 3 weeks ago, someone mentioned offhand that they had a big presentation coming up. You remembered. You texted them. Hey, how did that presentation go? Someone told you once that they don't eat meat. Next time you're choosing a restaurant, you think of that. Someone mentioned their dog's name in passing. You remember it next time you see them. This sounds small. It is small. That's exactly why almost nobody does it. When you remember the small things, people feel like they actually matter to you, not as a contact, not as a connection, as a person. And that feeling is so rare that it creates an almost instant bond. You don't need to write notes or build a spreadsheet. Just listen like people are worth listening to. Because they are. And when you treat them that way, they feel it. Here's how to actually build these into your life starting this week. Don't try all 7 at once. Pick 2. Start with silence and name repetition. Those are the easiest to deploy immediately with 0 awkwardness. Practice them in your next 3 conversations. Seriously, just those 2. Notice what changes. Then, the following week, add 1 more. By the end of a month, these aren't tricks anymore. They're just how you operate. There's a version of you that walks into a room and people pay attention. Not because you performed, not because you demanded it, but because you took the time to understand how people actually work. And you showed up accordingly. That guy isn't some distant, unreachable version of you. He's about 4 weeks of deliberate practice away. And if this helped, you know what to do.